This is the Discover Music Show, bringing you the best new sounds and interviews with the hottest new rising stars.
And we're now joined by Cold Sugar, a new pop duo. And we have for us here the producer and singer on that, Mark Henwood. Mark, welcome to the studio.
Hi, thanks very much. Hello.
Now, rumour has it, Mark, that you met your singer Louisa Davey, also featuring on the single On Stage. How did that happen?
Yeah, it's true actually. We both live in a little seaside town called Penarth, which is in South Wales near Cardiff, and we both, for various reasons, I can't vouch for hers, and I probably wouldn't discuss mine, but we're both for various reasons in the local Amdram Society, which is a lot of fun actually. And this summer, recently, we were both in the same production, which was it's this thing called Hot Mikado. It's a big glitzy musical, and it's kind of based on the Gilbert and Sullivan Mikado from like the 1800s, but it's been rewritten with a kind of sort of gospel blues, real kind of, sort of dirty feel to it. I mean, it's actually amazing. It's a really good fun musical, and Lou was in that, and I was in that as well.
Nice.
And for a while, I'd had this idea that I'd sort of abandoned my last musical band thing, and I had this idea for a little while that I wanted to get to start a band that would record like really modern sounding pop records, but really modern sounding pop songs, but with like a real 80s layer to them, like taking some of the best production bits of the 80s. But I was missing like a third thing that I wanted to tip in. You know, like you make a cocktail, and if you make a cocktail with two things, technically that's not a cocktail, mate, it's a drink. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I need this third thing. And when I was on stage and singing away, and there's always like gospel-y backing vocals and stuff, and we're all rehearsing them in layers and, like classical parts or whatever. And it just struck me. I was like, man, this is what we need. We need like real pop, but with 80s layers, but with this kind of, almost not classical singing, but, kind of, structured, proper, arranged singing in a sort of semi-gospel style. And so I asked Lou about it. She's got a cracking voice, as you can hear on the record. And she was just immediately up for it. So, that's how it happened.
And the new single, One More Thing, is got some real, as you say, real 80s influences there. Can you name them for me? What are your favourite 80s bands?
Oh, man, it's hard, isn't it? Because, like, if you do this, you can't. It's like when you invite people to a party, You either invite, like, your best mate, or if you invite your second layer of people, you end up with 50 people before you can even... Do you know what I mean? So who can I name? I think bands... I think a lot of the stuff that... I think bands that did big things for production are probably worth mentioning here, rather than bands who have songs that I love. So, for example, New Order probably did two pivotal things in their career. One was Blue Monday, which changed the face of dance music forever. Amazing. Well, that's composed of loads of references itself. But, so I think Blue Monday is one of the biggest records, but particularly their era with Arthur Baker and a guy called John Roby did some production for them in sort of the mid-80s, 85, I think that was. And particularly Subculture, the single, not the album track, but the single has just got amazing. And actually, if you listen to Subculture, there's like the layer in the chorus is kind of exactly what I was trying to get in this song on this recording, on top of the song. So definitely New Order. I mean, I think you can't make records that have an 80s influence without acknowledging the effect that like Depeche Mode had on music. Not necessarily at the start, but sort of, let's say from like their sort of maybe, I don't know, like their sort of third and fourth and fifth albums, something like that. I'd say actually even maybe right up to Songs of Faith and Devotion. And, I was a big fan of those albums. I think I am still listening to those, not the later ones. But I think they've got to where they are by having, amazing songwriting, but also... I think when Alan Wilder was with them, they had some fantastic arrangements. So some of the most interesting stuff that happens on their records, which I think would influence stuff rhythmically that I do, perhaps not melodically so much. But
One More Thing, of course, the new single, described by you as a bittersweet song. Can you explain that description for us?
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of... like, it's actually, no, it's not dark in a kind of like, sort of ponderous, bedroom poetry way, but I wanted to like, I don't know, I've been in this situation several times, and I'm sure many people have, where you're going out with someone and, you're maybe both of you like trying your best to make it work, and you particularly know the other person's trying their best, and you just suddenly realize in a blinding flash one day, just something happens or something is said, or you just catch sight of yourselves, which is kind of what happens in the song, and you go, oh gosh, this is a disaster. We're not supposed to be together at all. This doesn't work at all. And in that tiny moment, you feel this kind of really bittersweet combination of like sort of sadness for the relationship, sadness for the other person because they haven't caught onto this yet, but also a sort of elation that you're suddenly about to free yourself from this thing that's been troubling you and you didn't realise it was troubling you. So the song is actually about that tiny moment in time when you go, oh God, this is rubbish, isn't it? I've got to end it now. But it is, you still kind of feel weirdly happy. That's hopefully not very perverse, but it is bittersweet, and that's really what it's about, the whole thing, you know.
Well, I hope that hasn't happened too many times to you, but... Well, the single was produced by you, of course, and was it a smooth process to get it from your head onto tape?
Yeah, so it sort of was, because actually this is... it's the very first thing that, you know, when I decided a while ago, like only a few months, I was like, oh, I need a band. And I was explaining earlier about, you know, sort of 80s influences and pop and stuff. And I was like, wow, we want to do this band. And when it all fits together in my head, it all fits together around this wrong little sort of hook that I'd got in my head, which is just the chorus. Just the first two lines of the chorus, I'd got the hook in my head where I was actually on holiday, camping of all things, and I was packing down a tent, and it wasn't raining, amazingly. And I was packing down a tent, and they just got this hook in my head. And I was like, yeah, and as soon as I got back to Wales, I sort of just sat down, just sort of cranked out the actual basis of the song, and then because it was pretty straightforward, because I had quite a clear idea in my head of how I wanted it to sound by the time I'd come back, and all the influences and stuff that we discussed earlier. I'm like, actually sort of layering it, and it was pretty smooth actually. Like surprisingly, sometimes in the past on other projects I spent months on any one track, and it just comes out and you go, yeah, it's all right. But this was really like, you know, done soup to nuts in like 3 to 4 weeks, not including mixing time. But yeah, actually from thinking it up to getting it all recorded and down on disc was like 3 to 4 weeks tops. It was really, really quick, in spare time as well, obviously, you know, so.
And when and where can we find the new single? We're going to be playing it very shortly in a minute, but if we wanted to find it online, can we find it online somewhere?
Yeah, so it's in all the kind of online regular places. So if you're a Spotify streamer, it's also in Apple Music and iTunes. It's on Tidal. It's on all those things. It's not physical. You can only get it online. But yeah, it's in all those places.
And are your plans to tour live? Can we see you singing this live anywhere?
Well, I would love to, man. Listen, I'll tell you, this is the only song that we have. I think audiences like want more than one song. Like we might, you know, we might scrape an open mic session somewhere in Cardiff. But so, I mean, Lou and I started this literally 3 months ago. It's not even 3 months ago, actually. It's 2.5 months that I emailed her to say, do you want to form a band? It's that recent. It's come together so quickly. So once I'm in another production on stage at the moment, and when that's out of the way next week, we're then going to start on the new stuff. So I think hopefully within the next 8 to 9 weeks we should have another 2 or 3 tracks in the bag. When that's the case, I think we're going to start looking at trying to play live, but we'll only do local stuff first thing. So if you're, you know, it's sort of Cardiff, South Wales area to begin with. But yeah, I'd love to take it out, because I think there's a real energy to music like this, and if you put it through big fat speakers in a big room, you know, anything with a kind of electro back to it always sounds amazing, I think. So yeah, I really want to get it out on the road, but we need a couple more songs in our repertoire beforehand, I think.
Well, Mark, it sounds like you're going to be busy for the next few weeks, but thank you so much for taking some time out and talking to us. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks for having me. Cheers, man.
My pleasure. And here is the new single from Mark Henwood and Cold Sugar, and we have One More Thing.
This is the Discover Music Show, bringing you the best new sounds and interviews with the hottest new rising stars.
I thought the world had stopped turning when I met you. Exploding hearts like fireworks, but now they're through. Look at you, dressed like birthdays in a bow. Look at us, dressed like people who don't go together. I know you work hard for me, baby, but there's one more thing I need from you. I know you work hard for me, baby, but there's one thing I need you to do. You see, I wanna be free. I said that I wanna be me. Our bonfire has stopped burning. This flame's died out. As grey skies dawn. We wake up to a weary dance. Oh, where is this?